Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion for my spoilers movie review for American Skin. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. This is your first time finding me and you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel, because not only do I do spoiler movie reviews, I do non-spoiler movie reviews, I do television recaps, I do trailer reactions, and sometimes I'll do a live or just respond to any type of entertainment news. And again, I did say spoilers because I am going to spoil this movie, American Skin, written and directed by Mr. Nate Parker. Up, down, left, right, in, and out is if you've already seen the film. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I strongly suggest you turn the video off now, put it in your watch later list, subscribe to my channel, go watch it, and then come back. Or you can just stay if you do not care about being spoiled. You have been warned. However, I do have a surprise for you guys. I am not going to be the only one spoiling this movie for you. I do have a guest. He has been here before. He is the gentleman that I started my channel with a number of years ago, and that is Mr. Malcolm Toussaint. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing beautiful, man. Doing real good.
Yes, sir. That's what's up. Thank you so much for being here, Malcolm. I really do appreciate it. Again, we have both seen the film, and I don't know, have you seen my review for the film yet?
I have not. I have
And that's
not.
fine.
I all day and be surprised. So I don't know what you
Good.
thought about it.
Good. Now, guys, we actually did see this film together. Okay, we did watch this film together, but you know, at the end of it, we did not discuss the film. I saw at the time of me recording this, I've seen the film twice now. Okay, and after the, you know, I saw it the first time by myself, and then I showed it to Malcolm, and then afterwards, all I saw was this facial expression, and he was just saying, "Okay, I got some thoughts. I got some thoughts." And of course, I was like, "Oh, don't tell me how you feel about the film until we get on camera, just so that we can, you know, have our genuine reactions on camera for just myself and my entertainment, and also for the audience out there." And so at the time, I really didn't even give it a rating either, because I was just so conflicted. Again, guys, if you want to go check out that video, you can. Here is an image right here of the thumbnail of my non-spoiler review for American Skin. And also, I was able to catch a roundtable interview with the writer and director, Mr. Nate Parker. That is on my channel as well, if you guys want to subscribe and go check that out. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. And Malcolm, I'm going to pass it to you, sir. And real quick, I did enjoy the film overall. I did have some issues with it. Of course, that we're going to be talking about that. But I want to hand it over to you, sir. After you've seen this film, American Skin, what are your overall impressions? The floor is yours.
Okay, so let me first start off by saying that, like the last Nate Parker film, I was super, super excited about this. I felt like this is what we needed in this moment, in this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was you asked me about, reviewing it and watching and reviewing it. So I it didn't work for me though. It didn't work for me at
Oh,
all. I
really?
was I
Okay.
was I was upset. That's why I was making that face at the end, because I really, really wanted to like this film, and it didn't give me anything. It was something
Wow.
that is a film that probably should have been a play. It was a bunch of jumbled monologues or a lot of bad acting. I didn't
Wow.
like it at all. We can
Wow.
get
Wow.
into
Okay.
it, but a lot of issues, and the issues were so bad that I didn't like. I wouldn't watch this movie again.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's surprising.
And I feel terrible about it, because I love Nate Parker. I feel like he's an amazing actor. He did a great job with Birth of a Nation. And I was a really
Right.
big fan of that film. But
Right.
this one missed the mark by a lot in a lot of
Really.
different areas. And I like the idea, the concept of it. I felt like it was a time for this type of film right now. But
Yeah, I agree.
it was just, everything was generic. The acting was bland. The story just had no soul. It didn't grab
What?
me.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, uh, did you? I'm assuming you, yeah, like you said, you was really rooting for this film, so you had super high expectations, and they just didn't
Super
come
high.
close
You
to
know me,
meeting
I'm
them.
a, I'm a big fan of indie film. I love when there's independent films that are produced, written, directed by black artists. So I was like, really, okay, this is gonna be great. It has no choice but to be great, and it was not.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: is there anything that you did like about the movie at all, like the score, the camera work, a certain character, the ending? Like,
Well,
is there
again,
anything
I
that you
think
like?
that I think that Nate Parker is a brilliant actor. He does a lot of little things really, really well that make him very exceptional. I feel like he got blackballed, but he should be at the top of. He should be that next guy behind Denzel as far as black actors, honestly. And you can see that his little things he was doing in this film too, like even facial expressions, the way he moves his hands here and there. He's a brilliant actor. But this script, this story, the way it unfolded, it didn't really do him justice. I get where they were trying to go, but it just didn't work. It didn't
Did
work
you
as a
like?
film.
Okay, so when you liked the trailer, I mean, did you like when you saw the trailer? Did you like the trailer?
I like the concept. I think that it was the hype around what it was. I mean, in this day and age, when the era of Black Lives Matter, and you got someone who is going into a precinct or holding some cops hostage, and that's exciting. Like this is the get
Yeah,
back. This is what we've been waiting on.
right,
But
right,
the story just fell apart from the very beginning, and I tried to piece it back together. I tried to take my mind away from it and just be like a regular movie going, audience member, and not this guy who studied film, right? And it just
right.
did not grab me at any point.
Right, right, right. Okay. So when I was sharing my screen after we was done, the movie ended. I remember you were just sitting there like this, and that's why I started laughing. But I mean, let's just go ahead and get into all the details because one of the things that I really did like about it, I thought the first act was flawless. I didn't find anything wrong with the first act. I love the way that the film started off. It was the body cam footage of them approaching the car with Nate Parker's character, Link Jefferson, and Kajani Jefferson, in the car. That's how I started off. And when I watched it the first time, I was saying to myself, like, oh, okay, wow, this is how we're starting off. I thought they were going to kind of build up to this, because the synopsis is like, he's trying to mend the relationship with his son after a recent divorce, with him being a janitor, et cetera, et cetera. And so I kind of thought that we was gonna get some family moments, but no, they just kind of just threw us in right there. And one of the things that I did appreciate was they cut the camera away right when Kajani died. I don't even think we had a sound effect of him getting shot. I think they just cut away and went to the present day like a year later when what was the Jordan King, the journalist, was going to his house, just introducing himself, saying, okay, my name is Jordan King. I'm a film journalist. We talked on the phone a few times. I'm here to interview you about, what happened with your son. And so I don't know. That's something I did appreciate because when we're looking at all these deaths and all these police brutality in the media, it's like torture porn, or I don't know. That may not be the best word or phrase to use, but in my opinion, I think that you'll agree. It's just like they show all these images of dead Black people just being slaughtered and killed, and that's really triggering for Black people. I think that they do that on purpose. So that's something that I did appreciate, and I said in my non-spoiler review, it's just like he knew it was the editing. He knew what to show and what not to show, and trimmed out all the fat because I just don't want to see Black people brutalized, anymore. And that was something that I did appreciate at the beginning, him cutting that away. So, but I guess
Okay.
since you didn't like anything about
No,
it, that meant nothing for you.
it's not like that. It's just that I expected a lot more. I did appreciate that aspect. I thought it started off really nice, and I thought it was gonna flow very well. But even from the very beginning, with the journalist Jordan,
Mhm.
I didn't really his story. It didn't grab me. I didn't understand
Really?
someone who's worked in journalism, and
Oh,
documentary specifically. I didn't understand his motivation there. It wasn't strong enough for me.
what? Oh man, that's
It was just a
crazy.
it was just a it was a it's a piece of the puzzle that was put in there. Okay, we have to make this movie with a shaky camera, and so we have to put someone in there that's making a movie. But it wasn't. It was no conviction in it to me.
Wow. And
His whole character throughout the film.
okay, that's fair, my brother, because like I said, he was my most favorite character in the film. He wants to do his part if we're trying to get out of this and live in a system of justice. There are a ton of pieces to the puzzle that we have to put together. And Jordan's character, him being an ally, was a good piece to me. He was trying to do his part. He was a film journalist. Says, okay, like, what can I do to help out? I'm a film journalist. I'm going to tell this man's story so that the world could see. And that's something I really did
It
appreciate
just
because
it seems very vanilla. It seemed very vanilla. He wasn't a good journalist. I hated the questions he asked. I hated his
what?
approach, his attitude, his facial expressions. I didn't like him at all. And then
Oh
they put in the end,
man.
this mixed kid and from different side of the tracks, and I was like, okay, this shit is corny as fuck.
Bro, that's like I I mean that's cool. I thought that was accurate, man. I thought Nate knocked that out the park. Because when he was
It didn't do
interviewing,
anything for me.
because when he was interviewing him in his house, he was asking, like, right before they hit record on the camera, Lincoln Jefferson played, Nate Parker. He was like, wait, who's going to see this? And he was like, well, I'm going to show it to my class, and then if the professors like it, they're going to, take it to some studio or some festival, and then if it gets approved there, then the whole world could possibly see it. And I thought that was stellar. But I guess not. I guess you just.
Well, yeah, it didn't move me at all, man. It seemed like I said, it was very vanilla. It was like it could have been a little white woman that was doing this, and it would have made a difference to me. I think it probably. You know what I want to do? I want to read the script because I feel like they didn't. The script was under acting underscored the script. It didn't support it at all. I feel like there was some good lines in there, but it was just bad acting. Like he just didn't grab the character the way he should have.
Bad acting.
Yeah, I didn't like that his acting. I didn't like the son's acting. All the way around.
That's what I was about to ask you about next, man. Is Kajani, man? Because I like them.
The son, right?
Yeah, the son Kajani.
That was the worst of the worst.
What? You gotta be kidding me! I was laughing the whole
time. That's how terrible the acting was.
Man, let me pull this brother up right here real quick, man. His name is Tony Espinosa.
And this here, I'm real hesitant about doing these videos with you sometimes because my opinion is a little different from yours, and you mess around to lose audience members messing with me because I ain't gonna hold no punches. You know what I mean? And I thought it was terrible acting.
Bro, I'm surprised to hear you say that. Like, that's why I like doing these videos with you, because for half the time we do have a difference of opinion. I like independent films too, but I'm more into the mainstream Hollywood. You're more into the independent, films or independent and or foreign films. And so I like the way we bounce off. I mean, it is all good, but bro, I like this gentleman. I did. I don't. It's cool that I guess you didn't, but
no, I didn't like his acting in this film. I feel like it could have been it's probably a good script, decent script, but maybe it was rushed. The acting was terrible for the most part, and it's a shame because there are some good actors in here. It's just a matter of this did not come together well at all.
Man,
the pacing, like it just okay. Everything was rushed. It felt rushed. Unrealistic in a lot of places.
We'll get to that. So I'm gonna put a pin in that right there. Rushed, and what was the other thing you just said?
Unrealistic.
Unrealistic, because I will get there, because there was something that was unrealistic to me that I did not talk about in my non-spoiler review. But man, when they was doing that interview and he was asking about his son, I liked the way Nate executed that. He was like, it's better if I show you and don't tell you. And then he pulled up his phone and he held it up. And, he was showing his son laughing, like, oh, I don't know if you remember that scene. I laughed. Yeah, I laughed.
I mean, that was a heartfelt moment, but that's not the story. That was one moment in the film. Like, yeah, you get look, I'm a black man. Of course I'm gonna feel this story, somebody getting the beginning of the movie, they're getting pulled over. I've been in that situation before too. His son gets killed. Like, yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a heartfelt moment, but then it just falls apart as a story. It's a story that's on film. It did not work. I feel like this could be a great, maybe a play. I can see it being a good play, but for a film, it did not work.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think it's similar in the sense to this right here, The Negotiator, where Samuel Jackson was tired of the system and took matters into his own hands? A film that I really did appreciate. Or we have another one with Denzel Washington, John Q. He was fed up and took matters into his own hands by force as well. I like this too. Samuel, fuck you, Kneebomb. And here's Denzel again. I don't know. I was thinking about those films when I saw this.
This film is not on that level. Same conviction. And like, look, I mean, in this day and age, the cops kill your son. You gonna be like Samuel Jackson. And I feel like he was he was he was a broken man, right? I mean,
Mhm.
with the marriage, and of course you lose your son, and he was working hard as a janitor, and trying to make sure his kid goes to the right school. The story was there, the foundation was there, but his motivation was really weak to me. I get where he was trying to go, or where they were trying to go with this. The idea is good, but this needed some more work. The story needed some more work.
I will give you that. I will give you that. This was not a home run. Definitely is not. Again, I didn't even give it a rating.
This was a foul ball.
Oh man, that's interesting right there. Now, how did you feel about the scene to where the black police chief went over to the house trying to console the mom and the family? They had the news there. The cousin had his phone recording, cussing him out. How did you feel about that scene right there?
Well, I felt the cousin. I mean,
Okay, I'm sorry.
that felt real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I felt his emotion. It felt raw.
yeah,
But the police officer, it just, I, I don't know, man. It just didn't. It didn't feel right. It just. I get where they were trying to go with that, but I don't know. I just felt like they could have been handled different. That whole scene.
really. I mean, and I don't know. That's why the acting in the past was coming through because he was like, WTF, what the hell, and all that. I mean, it's not gonna, like he was saying, you're not helping. But I was just saying to myself, man, shut the hell up. He's grieving right now, but I fell out of his pain and anger. And then he took the phone and see, I'm in my auntie house right now. I don't got no guns on me, and they want to, shoot me or whatever. That was a bit irrational. They weren't gonna shoot him in the house,
Right.
but I was pissed off when the police chief stood up and was like trying to check him in his own house or his family's own house, like sit down. I was like, bruh, that's horrible. And kind of like Amari Hardwick's character, I forgot his name,
He
but
wasn't worth remembering. That.
oh
Yeah, I know
man.
what you mean. But
Well,
no, back to the cop though. Like even that, I just feel like I was trying my hardest not to take off my director hat and be like, let me just be an audience. It's a dark room. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching a film like it's supposed to be watched, and it just things like those scenes kept taking me out. I just felt like that scene with the police officer was just unrealistic. It could have been better acted. Like it didn't have to go to that point. I felt the emotion from the cousin, but from the cop though, it's just like you are a black man. He didn't even have to say all that. You could have read the emotion in his face. Like I understand what you mean. I can't do anything about it, but I understand. I think that would have served the scene better.
wow, that's just interesting that you're bringing up the acting because that was not a complaint that I had. The only person I mean, it wasn't horrible, but as far as the acting is concerned, the only person that was a bit over the top for me was this guy right here. Him screaming and spitting and stuff like that. I'll go ahead and say that his acting was not the best. But other than that, man, the acting
That
was
was
not. I wasn't complaining at all.
that was torturous to watch that dude cop explain. We not white explain, but
Yeah,
cop explain
right,
throughout
right.
those scenes. Like
I I
it was
will
like
give
the
you
worst
that.
you can imagine being on Twitter. Like the worst rebuttals you can imagine from those American flag eagle accounts. Their rebuttals about black on black crime. That's what that was. It was just
Right.
it just makes my skin itch thinking about
Now, I will give you that. That is I promise you, I will give you that. That was the because, like I said, the whole first act. I love the whole first act. When I say the first act, I mean from the first frame of the film opening, when they was getting pulled over until the siege of the police station. I thought the whole thing was flawless. I'll take it kind of the scene where the mother was grieving after the court after they made the announcement that that like this scene right here where there was like there's not going to be any charges, and then the mother and the father, I forgot her name, but the mother was outside and then she went to the cop like, why, can you just tell me why? I mean, that was not the best acting scene, so I'll give
Look,
you
man,
those.
this is
Yeah,
some BT blockbuster type of acting in this
oh
movie.
man, I don't want to go that far, but I mean, what is her name, real quick? It may take me too long to look it up, but yeah,
You
she
you know
was.
what's you know what's funny? I real quick, I
Go
I
ahead,
am
go ahead,
I
you
am
good.
I am trashing this movie. I
You
admit.
are.
I
It's
might
all
need to
good.
watch it a second time. I feel like I'm in the opinion of movies shouldn't be watched just once for the most part.
Right.
So maybe I had my expectations were so high for this, and I was
Mhm.
expecting this to be the culmination of 2020 and what we experienced with Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? And you know, all the protests and marches. Like this is gonna be the movie for that movement, and it
Mhm.
was not. It just
Right.
wasn't. And maybe I just held my standards were too high, and I just felt like this was gonna be, you know, I,
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that because, like I said, this is my most anticipated film of 2021.
right.
I was looking more forward to this film than Avengers Endgame, Black Panther, Infinity War. I mean, I know you're not like a comic book head like that, like myself, and I will give it to you. This was not a culmination of that. However, it's still there was another interview that Nate Parker did with Black Tree TV, another channel that I think you guys go check out. It's a gentleman. I don't know him personally, but he has like 380,000 subscribers. He interviews everybody. He had a live with Nate yesterday. We're filming this Saturday, January 16th, 2021. And so he did a live yesterday, Friday the 15th. And Nate was saying that he filmed this 15 years ago. This film was made 2 years ago. And the first time that he showed up to Spike Lee was the day that the news was released that the people was going to get off for the Eric Garner death. Like the news that came that day. So tensions were high at the time, of course, but they wasn't as high today. But I will, like I said, I did say I did enjoy this film overall, but it's definitely not a home run. It's definitely not perfect, but most films aren't. So the only thing that I do agree with you so far is that the acting was not the best by two characters. The wife, only doing that one scene though, only doing that one scene outside the press room or the courthouse, and then that cop that killed Kajani. Also,
What about the other cop?
I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't think the acting was bad.
Okay.
I mean, I just didn't. Now, something you just said a second ago that the
This is,
film,
it's funny that you brought up Spike Lee because I was thinking that while I was watching it. Like, this is like over dramatized. You know, those Spike Lee does those little monologues where the person is like talking and they're all racist and shit like that. Like,
Mhm.
it was a bunch of those in that the court or the precincts scenes, right?
Right,
Like
right.
all these monologues, people talking about race and their thoughts about race, and they're all over the place, and someone's on trial for the murder of his son. I just feel like it
That
was
was
corny.
it was a bit elementary. It was a bit elementary. I'm not gonna lie. Because when I in my non-spoiler review, I was like, this is just too familiar. We've heard this before.
Right.
This is like I hate using
I
this.
don't think this film does much for the conversation on race relations and what we went through in 2020 and before. Like it just doesn't. Like and that's what I was looking for it to do. I don't feel like there's nothing here that we haven't talked about that we haven't heard before. There's no new concept. You have a black man. He's not a magical Negro, but he
Right.
dies at the end, and it's like, how does that serve me as an audience member? Like, what does that do for me? Like, what do I learn from that? Like, what am I supposed to take from that? It's poetic justice. I get it. He's a guy who took cops hostage and could have killed some folks. I get it. He's gonna get in trouble. He's not gonna get away and sell out into the sunset. But it's like, what did I get from that art?
I got you. We'll save the ending for last, and as you're watching the title of this video right now, it's American Skin Spoilers Movie Review. Did you like the ending, or did you appreciate the ending? That image I was looking for is this right here. That's I was just talking about that. Well, kind of close to that scene right there. But I mean, I can't get mad at you for that. I was about to say something else, but oh yeah, Spike Lee. He executive producer. He just signed off on this film. He didn't have anything to do with the making of it. But that's standard. Don't get mad. There's always films that come out in Hollywood produced by Steven Spielberg, and he was only there on the set for 5 minutes, or just I don't know, gave an opinion here and there. So that's just the way the system works. And so, but the first thing that frustrated me when I saw this, it knocked the wind out of me, because I said that I did appreciate him trimming out all the fat. This film was barely 90 minutes. And that's not a knock, but I was very, very frustrated when they jump cut. Like it was everything was building up. He went over to the cop's house, the police chief's house. I guess kidnapped him. And before I go forward, why did the cop come out willingly? He didn't hold him to it. He didn't have no gun to him, no knife or nothing like that. He just walked out while he was. I didn't understand that. Did you? I'm probably sure
Again,
you're trying to rip it up too.
unrealistic. They wanted the film to have this handheld look, and so they had these kids in the car, and they didn't even have to drive off. Like somebody get in your car, like drive, you go film this. Like nope, I'm getting out the car. Like it just felt forced. The story
Well,
felt forced.
well, I won't go that far. I mean, I don't, I don't mind them just driving
I
off
mean,
like
if you
that.
understand the magnitude, we ain't talk. Okay, I talk the world of film in real life. If you're a black man and you go, you know you're gonna die. You're probably gonna die if you go into a police precinct and you have the officers, tied up, and you hold them hostage, and you
Mhm.
putting people on trial. You got other hostages, civilians in there. Like it's gonna end badly. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that. It just felt like a set. It's like we have these ideas we want to say, these things we want to say, and we're going to go into this place and say it. But it wasn't that feeling. Like if I'm a black, if I go, somebody killed my family, some cops, and I go and I take over a precinct, that movie is going to look totally different. That energy is going to look totally different, right?
Well, yeah, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't have. He didn't. He said in another interview that he didn't have that much money, that much funds, that much resources to do what he wanted to do. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I can't say that you're wrong, but I disagree. But I mean, you're not wrong. It's just it didn't bother me as much as you did. But something that really did piss me off was when and then hold on, because you said, wait a minute, can you give the film credit here? Because you said, oh, I just want to drove. I just would have got out the car. When they had all the guns, old girl did try to call 911, and then he threw the phone away. So I don't know. That's kind of realistic to me. She just wanted to ride or die. Jordan was. There was a line of dialogue later that he, when they was in there trying to change the camera and stuff, like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And she's like, they're going to execute us. She's like, no, I don't think he wants to go around executing people. I think that, I don't think that's what he's about. And she was like, what is up? What is it with you? What is it with you and this guy? Like, why are you so loyal to him and you don't know? I really did like that line because that's where that allyship came from me. But I just brought that up because you were saying that, like, them reacting to him kidnapping the cop, the black police chief, how it wasn't realistic. It wasn't at first, them walking up to the car, but I mean, who knows how you're going to react in this situation? They didn't drive off. They probably assumed that, he had some type of gun somewhere. They're not warriors, they're students. I mean, I don't know.
But the film has to visually tell me that. Like I have to feel that, right?
Yeah.
Like it didn't do that for me. And there's one scene in there where the Jordan kid is like, this won't fix it. This won't fix it. Not this. And I'm thinking like these kids drove the getaway car. They're filming all of this shit. Cops getting arrested or tied up and all this and prisoners being let loose. Like, they're filming this. Like how does your moral authority come in right now? Like it just didn't make sense. It's just like the stakes just didn't feel high enough. Based on what I was seeing, I didn't feel that. The film didn't make me feel that.
I was about to ask you, do you think you feel this way because the way you watch the film, like at home on a computer screen, opposed to the theater? Because that may have something to do with it.
That definitely could have something to do with it. But I mean, in this day and age, I mean, all the films I watched Parasite on my phone, and I was like,
oh, hell no.
this is brilliant.
Oh yeah, I did see your comment on Facebook. I think that was either today or yesterday. Okay.
Like so if it's a good movie, it's a good story, it's great acting, you're gonna see it no matter what the screen is. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
true.
I get it. I mean, movies should be watched in a dark theater with a giant screen.
Right.
You know, but this, it just wasn't a good film for me. I feel terrible for saying that. I really wanted to like it. I love Nate Parker as an actor, and I really was rooting for him as a director and writer producer as well. But this one didn't hit the mark. It just didn't, and I hate that for him.
Well, I'm gonna keep going. I'm
gonna keep supporting him. I want him to get better.
Yeah.
But this felt rushed. It felt it felt unpolished.
Oh, damn.
Can we go back to Amari Hardwick's character, like that
Yeah.
unnecessary character, and that how unrealistic that felt.
How
This
is it,
cancer survivor.
what was
This
wrong with it?
Come on, man. That's the cancer survivor, the war torn cancer survivor.
What I mean, here, what's
Who's
wrong
ready
with
to die right
survivor?
now. I mean,
I
come
don't,
on, man.
I don't look. What's the issue? I liked him. It was short, sweet. You know, I even laughed. I even liked the line of dialogue where it cut the tension in the room to where he was like, "Okay, we have this lady over here, this person over here, a clerk." And he was like, "Young lady, and what do you do?" And she was the white girl was like, "Oh, I was just here to pay a parking ticket." He was like, and then a responsible young lady. I thought that was hilarious. I bust out laughing next and actually took it back. I
Well,
said
yeah,
to
that
myself, that was
was
brilliant. That was
that
a
was a
brilliant,
good line.
yeah.
But think about it. Like, I mean,
That was
you got a
perfect.
war torn, cancer surviving friend. Like he's gonna like look like that, and he didn't look like that. It didn't feel. It felt like
He
was it Ghost from Power? I'm watching.
No, it was a completely different character. I don't know, man. I liked him. He looked like he was gonna die tomorrow, or the next day, the next week. And he was just like, F it, you know. I only have this much time left. Yeah, he even talked about
Nah,
that with
I
Jordan.
just feel like we should have felt that what was at stake. Like it didn't feel like, okay, I'm ready to die. It's like, okay, I hear what you're saying. The dialogue is saying this is my last day of the of chemo. Yeah, okay, but like I want to feel that as a moviegoer, as an audience member.
I
And I
mean,
didn't.
I felt it personally. You know, I don't. I mean, as you're fine to feel however you feel, but me, I felt it personally. I didn't want more because he wasn't the center character. It was Lincoln Jefferson and Jordan King. Um, so I feel he served his purpose. I liked him. If you didn't like him, that's fine. It's perfectly fine.
But I
Things,
feel like this movie has some really great actors in it, but they
yes.
weren't served a. I don't know if it was just a combination of directing, editing, just the script in general, but it just didn't come together fluidly, you know?
Right. Now, something I was trying to get out is when it comes to the editing, this really did frustrate me when they jumped to this scene right here of them taking over. I'm finna say taking over the Capitol, taking over the precinct, the police station. I was so gosh darn frustrated because I wanted to see them storm the building, pistol whip some people, kick them
And
down,
and
whatever.
why though? Why would you have wanted to see that? Because you wanted to feel it. You wanted to
Yeah,
feel what was
yeah.
going on, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. That is one of my complaints. That's one of the things I couldn't stand the
And
most.
I get it. I think from his perspective, I think in my opinion, the perfect movie is an hour and 30 minutes. So that should be the goal for most directors. But they might have took it out because they don't want the movie to be about that. This is not, some type of, espionage movie and I'm trying to get into a precinct and break in. That's not what the movie is about. I get that. But you have to make me feel what the characters are feeling and what's at stake. And that didn't happen.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
get like he was upset.
It could have been more at stake. When you have a plot, when it's going from A to B to C, a movie is very, very boring if the plan is just executed smoothly. There always has to be a wrench thrown in. And the wrench thrown in this movie, it did not have enough substance to me because what I'm talking about specifically is when they were having the courtroom scene in the precinct and one of the inmates ran over and started punching and kicking the cops and he stole the guy's gun and then shot him in one of the comrades in the shoulder. There wasn't, I will admit, there wasn't much stakes there. They just went into the room and bandaged him up and then they summed up the film. They could have drawn that out a bit more. And for example, another thing that I'm talking about is like, okay, John Q, for example, when that I'm assuming you have seen that movie, right?
Of course.
Right. Okay. Just want to make sure. So when he's in the hospital, they have one of the SWAT team members try to infiltrate, like coming through the ceiling or whatever, and a bullet goes off and he gets shot, and that throws a wrench, in the plan. Same thing with Negotiator. When he's in there, they try to infiltrate the building and they end up shooting knee bomb in the chest 3 times, and Samuel Jackson has to fight him back. You did say earlier that this film American Skin is not on those levels, but yeah, I think I hope I'm explaining this the right way, is that the monkey and the wrench wasn't big enough,
right? And it felt like we got cheated. It felt cheap at the end. I don't know if you want to talk about the end yet, but
not yet. Let me ask you this: did you at least like the music, the score, the use of the violin? It's because I did. He'll be
It
like,
worked.
hell no.
No, it was it was okay. It was okay. I
Okay.
would have preferred again, I try to take my director head off and put on the, movie watching, hat, but I probably would have done something a little bit different, but I get it. It's a choice.
Another thing I got some notes right here because you were talking about the acting, like going back to the first act. When they found out the verdict or that there wasn't going to be a trial, I really felt the scene where he was in the bathroom and threw up in the toilet. That was genuine to me, But I guess that didn't mean anything for you either. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't remember, it's all good. It was a
No,
brief
I
scene.
remember him. I remember him throwing up. I'm trying to remember why he was throwing up because it wasn't going to be a trial.
Right, right. The news that came out that that it was right after.
Okay, okay. I remember now.
Yeah, it was after this scene right here. They were watching the news at home. It was either before or after the black police chief came over and tried to console him with all his BS.
Right. I recall that.
So yeah, he was in the bathroom. Amari's character.
All these moments mean something. They carry weight, but I understand. I understand they were trying to make us feel that, but the transition from when he was taking over the precinct and kidnapping the chief, that I didn't feel that.
Oh yeah. We talked about that.
It
Now
felt rushed.
what about this scene, man? I like this scene right here. It's like, are you afraid? I liked it. When it was just it was him in here, the crybaby police officer, this guy, and also Jordan. When he had the gun on the table in the interrogation room. I like that scene. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. I love Nate Parker as an actor. I really do. I thought he was going to be the next Denzel, Black American, actor, and he does great work. But a lot of good scenes in this movie. But nah.
Oh man, I
I
got
like
you.
the scene, but again, when you put it together, all these scenes make up a movie, and it didn't work as a movie. Like again, it's a bunch of great monologues. I mean, this could, if you doing an acting reel, it could some great, pieces in here to pull from,
Mhm.
but not as a film, it didn't work for me.
Okay. Have you now? This may seem like I'm going places here, but I have a reason for bringing this up. Officer Dominique Reyes. What did you think about his performance? He was somebody. This guy right here. I like this guy. I liked him a lot better than the other person, the other cop. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I did.
yeah, he was cool. I liked his performance. I like his role. What you think?
Yeah, he did a decent job. I don't have
Mhm.
any complaints about it. It just was, some of those scenes in there were a little bit cringe, but I like him as an actor too.
Yeah, he was in Luke Cage. I really did. I think this is the only film I saw him or she showed that I saw him in, but I did appreciate everything that he had to offer the screen. But man, this is crazy. Now, something else that I wanted to ask you, because the first time I saw this, I was like, I wonder if she's being genuine or not. So the famous scene in the trailer end of the movie where he's like talking to his ex-wife, like, why are we the only people that have to do stuff without violence or whatever? And then his wife had him on the phone, like, baby, come home. You're the only connection that I have between you and our son Kajani. We can do this again, mend their relationship. Do you think that she was being genuine or really just trying to not get him killed? Or do you think she really wanted to link, like, hook back up with them?
I feel like the fact that you're asking me again shows that we didn't get strong enough backstory on that. Like if there was something to show that they're actually, he really wants this situation, then yeah, it
Mhm.
works. But that's not what happened here. Sorry about that.
You're good. You're good. You're good. Wow. Huh, what does it say? Well, my goodness, Malcolm, I hate you. No, I'm joking. I'm teasing, bro. You're good. You're good. We
No,
disagree.
did you like the scene? I mean, you asked me about it, so
I liked it, but I just didn't know if she was, really wanted to be with them because
and I don't feel like
no,
that should happen personally.
because sometimes you really think that you can. Sometimes you really think you love somebody, but it's not. It's just a momentary thing. You're in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like was it a genuine, like, baby, I love you, I want to be together with you, or do you think it was just,
I think it
But
was bad writing. That's what it was. I mean,
oh man.
dated.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
look. I just It's like, what is she talking about? Like, where is this coming from? If I gotta ask questions like that as an audience member, that means you took me out of it. Something you did was wrong.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know, we coming up to the end of this now. After one of his comrades was shot in the shoulder, which could have been drawn out more. One of the things I will say is we talked about it was rushed. The thing that was rushed for me was them not showing them storm the precinct. Something that was just a bit unrealistic to me, and you said the black police chief being taken hostage, was that we did not get enough footage of the aftermath outside. I mean, we got like a brief, we got that at the end of the film, which we'll talk about in a moment. But when they initially took the precinct, there was a reporter outside like, yes, the precinct has been taken over. We don't know why, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I wish we would have got more of the aftermath outside, how everybody in the world, in the community, wherever, was receiving this information. You know, like, oh snap, my uncle's taking over the police station. Like, oh, that's the daddy from a year ago. He mad as hell. Hell yeah, I hope he blasts out of, you know what I'm saying? I wish we would have got more of that. Also, something that just wasn't realistic to me was that, I don't know. I think that the police would have tried to infiltrate the police station in some form or fashion. You know, I don't
It was
know
too
why.
easy, right?
Yeah, I don't know why you're looking out the window to where they can blast your ass through the thing. I don't know. Maybe they didn't do that because they don't know how many people he had on his team. Like, okay, if we take out one person, they're going to execute cops. You know, that could be the reason. But I wish we could have got at least some type of dialogue of the policemen outside trying to come up with some plan, like, okay, we got 12 officers inside or how many officers inside, we got to get in the building. And then somebody else like, no, we got the chief, and then if we do this, they got this is blocked off. I kind of wish we would have got all of that. But yeah, it was kind of unrealistic that they didn't try to take back the police station at all. It could have been explained through dialogue, but we didn't get it. That is a complaint
what you're saying is important, right? Like we didn't fit. Like you didn't have the people that are outside rooting for him, right? You know, guy, that's the guy. You didn't have police officers that were outside. They were trying to come in and like you didn't get that feeling. So it felt like a play. It felt like a stage play.
I will give you, other than I'll take the play out. It didn't feel like a play, but I will give you that though. We should have got that. I didn't think any of this felt like a play.
But why didn't we though? That's what kind of throws me off.
I mean, he doesn't have no money. That's what I'm assuming. But coming up to the end, I got to bring up my boy Jordan King again, because when his comrade got shot in the shoulder, and then he was like, okay, hey, like Theo Ross was like, your experiment is over, and the black police chief was like, yeah, you need to end this, because this is not going to end well. And he made Jordan King part of the jury. One of the things I did like the black guy that was talking. One that had, I think they had the beanie on, and the other one, I don't know his name, but the monologuing from Jordan King in that scene where he was basically, I don't remember the whole lines of dialogue, but he was just like, I'm sick of this, and that we need to, if we need to hold these, he said that, do I think all cops are bad? No. He said, no, I don't think all cops are bad. I do think there's a lot of them. There's a lot, 40-50% are just evil. But I don't think all cops are bad, 40 to 50%. And he said that, and he said, do I think that these cops woke up in the morning and just wanted to go kill a black person? But he was like, if we have to hold these officers in this situation accountable to show the world, they do need to be punished. And he started getting emotional and crying. That was another great scene to me. I liked it. I didn't cry myself or anything like that, but I was feeling the acting. I was feeling the performance. I thought it was a great scene. What did you think? No? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, by this point, I'm in full critic mode. I'm like, okay, this is some BS. That's again corny. Stuff started to get so unrealistic. It just was okay. This is corny at this point. Look, I get where he was trying to go, and I've heard that before, and he was right. I feel like they could have showed it in a different way, as opposed to having it, be on the nose dialogue. Honestly, so it just didn't. It could have been. It should have been a play. It probably looks really good on paper, but not watching it in a movie theater, probably, or on this movie screen, or TV screen.
I got you, and I got my rating right here that I'm writing down and circling it because I couldn't think. So were you sleepy when you watched this?
Was I sleepy? I got sleepy watching it. That's how that went.
No, I just asked because sometimes myself, man, I'll watch a movie and I'll be sleepy and I didn't like it, and then I'll go back when I'm energized. I'm like, wait, what the hell was I thinking? But anyway.
I do need to watch it again, and I will. I will support
Right.
this brother. I think he's great. I love his vision as far
Mhm,
as like what he wanted to do. So
mhm,
maybe there was something going on, but I was like excited about this film. So it wasn't that, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm
I
gonna watch
I,
it again, and I probably one of the situations where I probably give it a better review later. But
right.
right now, no,
Oh, don't give
it's
you
not.
rated. Don't give you rated. Okay, yeah.
Maybe going into it with lowered expectations will help on the next round, right?
Right, right, right.
So that's
And
my hope.
I'm gonna be honest with you when we get to the end part, but the last thing, the ending. Let's go ahead and talk about the ending. Uh, in my non-spoiler review, well, let me back up. I loved it, bro. When they came out, they gave the verdict, and it's like guilty, especially Thea Ross. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? And he was nervous. I was feeling that, bro. I thought it was a great scene. And then he came over there and he had the police sit down and he called his wife and kids or whatever. And I was like, okay, this is good. I like it. And then, he put the gun to his head or whatever, and all the cops were screaming, like, oh God, no. And they're being held back. It was a great scene to me, bro. I love the tension. I was in there like this, like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Is he gonna blow his head
I
off?
agree too, but me watching the movie up to that point, I was like, he's not gonna kill him. He's not gonna kill him.
I didn't think.
He
I don't
took
know, man. I was on the
Getting
fence.
after
I didn't
police
know.
chief in broad daylight with no resistance. Like they're not the way the movie is written. He's not gonna kill him. Honestly, so
Well,
I like the scene. It was a cool scene, but I just knew at that point I was like, if he doesn't kill him, then I'm going to be disappointed because I know he's not going to kill him. He didn't, and he died.
yeah, he didn't do it. Now he pulled the trigger. I am glad is I am glad that they didn't become friends at the end, like shake hands or hug. I would have punched them on screen if they, what I was, like, oh, I would have been so upset. So I'm glad that they didn't do that.
They didn't
Uh,
do that, but when you had him walking in front of him outside, this is a guy. He's not armed or whatever. Like it's the same thing, the same symbolism.
yeah, I mean,
And this black
I,
he,
I don't think that's realistic yet. I just don't see a cop. I just don't see that. I don't.
even when he shot the kid, he said like we're trained to escalate. We can't de-escalate situations. So I just don't see this heartfelt moment happening where you're about to kill me and right almost in front of my wife and kids on, you know what I mean? Like in front of my colleagues, and it's just like, okay, we're good. I get it. You made me feel your humanity. I just don't see that happening. Maybe because I'm just so embittered by 2020 and dealing with cops in real life. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think it's not likely. It's not probable. I won't say that it's impossible. But he pulled the trigger. Everybody calmed down, and he started letting them go. One of the because when I said I was conflicted in my non-spoiler review, Jordan King was like, because I was just like, hold on, hold on, hold on. I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. You planned all of this, storm the police station, I mean, you did all of this stuff, man, only to make him feel the way you wanted to make him feel. I mean, the way you only because you only to make the cop feel the way you felt. I was frustrated. I was like, at the very least, you could pistol whip his ass a couple of times, beat his ass. I was frustrated. I was like, come on, man, give him a bloody nose at least. I was mad about that. I was just like, nah, you're gonna feel my fists at least, man.
It was almost
I was
magical.
I was frustrated. I did the thing about
I'm just this black man. You killed my son. I'm just here to teach you a lesson and make you see black people's humanity. Okay.
yeah, and I did speak on that. That was a bit disappointing. Now, mind you, what happened last, and I don't mean to trigger anybody, but mind you, last year, 2020, with the George Floyd, Derek Chauvin. I mean, that was just we none of us ever seen anything like that. We've seen police brutality and killings, of course, but for somebody to lean on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, look in the camera and smile while everyone is pleading for this man's life is just straight up evil. That man needs to be sentenced to death or be put in life in prison. But the film could have been written with that type of evil by a cop, because it would have justified Lincoln blowing his head off in front of everybody. You know, because I don't. I mean, even though I'm saying that I wanted him, you know, I wanted the cop to be punished. You know, this guy right here. Do I think that he tried to kill Kajani on purpose? I don't. But he still needs to be punished for it. And cops are just never punished for it, whether it's an accident or not. But what Derek Chauvin did is just straight up evil. So if in this movie he wrote it in the, and I know this film was made 2 years ago, but if he wrote in the scenario to where in this movie, one of the cops did something as evil to Derek Chauvin, to his son, as Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd, that would have completely justified him going in there and killing a couple of cops that was involved in that. And I would have been fine if he would have, and if he put that in the movie, and Lincoln Jefferson, Nate Parker's character, just executed a few cops because of that, I would have been perfectly fine with that. You deserve that. No, you're not. No, you choked this dude out on camera and smile and smile. You choked this dude out and smiled in the camera. That is evil. You are a demon. No explanation about it. No excuses. So that could have justified it. And I wish that he would have put that into the film. It would have made me feel better if you're watching this and you know you don't like me saying that.
So are you saying that you didn't feel the justice in this film, or like what?
Hell no,
Like,
I didn't feel justice.
Like, what did you take away from it? Like that's what I want to understand.
I was gonna get to that, but nothing. I will admit, I'm the thing, because I'm not gonna lie, bro. The first time I saw this, I was like, when it ended, I was like, really? And I just laid back on my couch and looked at the ceiling like this, all the way through the end of the credits. I was frustrated. I'm like, come on, man. I was like, that's how it's gonna end. But the second time I saw it, because in my non-spoiler review, when it ended, I was like, okay. And even and the thing about it, why I said I was conflicted, is because I felt that Nate, and I said this in my other review, that Nate Parker knew that, because he had a line of dialogue in there with Jordan King saying, like at the end, like when he was letting everybody go, it's like, that's it. Because I was saying to myself, that's it. You storm this precinct, and that's all that we're gonna get out of this, is making a couple of cops feel upset. Yeah, your story is gonna go worldwide, but I was just like Jordan King. I was like, that's it. That's why I was conflicted, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I just didn't know how I felt about the ending. You know,
Right, and I get they were trying to push this. You know, they're Iraqi veterans, and life is hard, and it's, you know, he went through this divorce, and he's, you know, he went to war twice, or you know, and he's got this, you know, janitor job. Like, I get it, but it didn't feel strong enough to do what he did.
I
Like,
guess.
I get it. Like, I can only imagine going through something like that. And the way that I'm built, I probably would feel like I would want to do something like that. But I didn't get that from him.
Gotcha. But real quick, they walk outside, you know, the little friendly moment, and then he gets executed. He gets his head blown off. I think that is realistic. They're not gonna let this guy walk free. You know, they want to make him an example. It pained me to see that, but it is realistic. They're gonna make up excuses on, like, well, we had to blow his head off because we thought it was a threat, whatever. I mean, how did you feel about that? You know, him getting his head blown off or shot in the face?
It was very unsatisfactory. It's very cheap, and I didn't get anything from it. It made a bad movie even worse.
Damn. Okay. And also just the ending of that, I thought that the news coverage was realistic too. You know, they're gonna try to paint this black man as the demon, saying that he had PTSD, saying that he had Islamic terrorist ties and all of that. Because he was an infantry rifleman. I forgot what branch of the government was it. I can't remember if it was the army or not, but army. Okay. And then he just cut to the sports, and I was just like, wow, that's how they're gonna do us, you know. But at the same time, Jordan did send off the film across the world, so I don't know if it made a difference, but yeah, and that's you know, that's the end of the film right there.
And I guess that was like their way of like almost like, this is that film. This is the film that people need to see. That's gonna just break the race barriers and show how police brutality, how it impacts. It didn't do that. It didn't do that for me at all. Like, I get where they were trying to go. It was noble, the idea, but it did not work. It was executed well for a film, like not now. Like, it And I hate that. I really, really do. I
I
said that
got you.
1,000 times, man, but I just didn't. It didn't grab me.
I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't mad at you.
Moments of good, moments of dialogue, and good monologues here and there. A story I really wanted to like, a story that resonates with what we're going through right now in
Hmm.
America. But it wasn't a great film. Nothing to scream about. I would suggest everyone go watch it, honestly, because it's
Yeah,
black director, writer. You know what I'm saying? And it was a noble idea. I mean, you might like it, but I just it didn't do it for me at all. Didn't move the needle. Needle just ain't it.
I got you. Now, just go over the rating time real quick. But go ahead, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating of the film. I didn't hate it like you did. I did enjoy it overall, but there were some problems, as we just stated. I was going into this film. It was my most anticipated film of like ever. I wanted it to be a 10 out of a 10. It wasn't. Most films aren't. But if I had to give it a rating out of a 1 out of 10, it's still a passing grade. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. A 6.5 out of 10. So if you had to rate it, and if you want to give it a letter grade, however style, letter grade, a number grade out of 10, it's on you, Malcolm. What would you rate American Skin?
This is probably a 4 lean to a 4.5 for me.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's
I'm
not an
surprised.
okay film. It's not the worst film in the world. I was really anticipating it, and I like some things about it, some scenes here and there, some of the content. I like the actors, but the movie just wasn't a great film. Like it should not. It probably needed some more work to become a film. I'm curious to see if something like this as a play. Seriously, I think that's something they should seriously consider.
Wow. I mean, that's fine. I don't see that at all, but I'm not mad at you. That's if that's what you want to see, that's what you want to see. So Malcolm gives this a 4 to 4.5 out of 10. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. All films are subjective, if these are just our opinions, your opinions are valid as well. If again, please subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media. I do appreciate it, guys. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery. It's my brother Malcolm Toussaint right here, and that is just our opinion. Peace out.